Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Timmy Kenza James. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful wrap top that has a band on the waist side. So you can wear it two ways. You can turn the back to the front, and this is what it will look like. It will be basically a high neck top, and the back of it will be wrapped like this. So subscribe to my channel and let's get straight into it. Don't forget to turn on post notification. So guys, I have my basic bodies here. So I'm going to, and the bodies is just from my shoulder to a little bit beneath my under bust. I'm not making it up to my affluence point because I'm going to be adding a band to that point where I can tie and secure properly. So now I'm going to be altering this pattern to serve me. So the first things first is I'm going to be taking my my armhole dart. I'm going to be closing that on my armhole, and I'm going to be drafting the neckline that serves me better. So this neckline is the standard 3 inches neckline. So I'm going to be making I want my neckline to be a total of 5 inches, so I'm coming down by 2 inches extra to give it 5 inches. So I'm going to be connecting it to this point. But first off, I'm going to determine if I want, this is the standard 3 by 3 neckline. So I want my neckline to be 4 inches. So I'm marking 1 inch extra on this side so that it makes my neck wider. Mind you, this basic bodies is what I will be cutting for my back, for the back side of my blouse, except that is not this wide. But every other thing, I would alter the neck of the back as well to be 4 inches, and every other thing will be the same. And another difference is the front affluence is going to be, the front bodies is longer than that of the back because of my bust that I'm going to be drafting from the bust line, from underneath the armhole towards pivoting towards the bust point. So I'll be doing that shortly, but before then, let's go ahead and draft our neckline. So I'll mark my neckline. These 4 inches will connect to these 2 inch that I brought down here. So I'm going to determine how much I want the wrap to be. So I just want it to be somewhere around here. So I'll just bring it towards this dart like so. So I'm just going to connect to this point like so, right? So I'll just sort of connect this nicely, but this drops the neckline a little bit, you can see. So that's like 5.5 on my neckline. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to cut this out. So I'll just go ahead and cut this out. So this is my neckline that I'm cutting out like so. So this side is no longer needed because I'm going to have 2 of these. So first, I'm going to be closing my armhole dart. I'm going to make a dart on the armhole so that it secures the front armhole and makes it tighter. So I'll measure my armhole and take the dart from half of what I have on the armhole. Mind you, I've not added sewing allowance to these bodies, right? So whatever I have, I'm going to mark half of it like so. So I'm going to be connecting that point here. Then I'll just take how much that I want to be tightened there. I just want 1 inch off from there. I'll mark 1 inch. Then I'll go ahead and mark as well. I'll connect it like so. So I've created another dart there. So I want to take off the dart as well. So I'll move the dart from here to the under bust. So I'll just go ahead and cut here through. You cut one of the dart legs and one of these dart legs as well. So let me just cut the center panel, the center line. So I'll just go ahead and cover this dart up like so. So I'll cover this and tape it down. Now this will give me a way better fit on the armhole side. So because it's my front armhole, as it came in like this, I'll just find a way of gently curving it towards the outer part of just go ahead and sort of mark it like this, and I'll cut that off. So here we go. So our dart on that point is nice and secured. Now I'm going to be making another, I'll be adding another dart on the neckline to tighten any gaping that we have on that side as well, on the neckline side. So anywhere you can just add your dart at any point, guys. So I'll just go ahead and sort of mark. I might end up adding 2 darts for this neckline because I want it really nice and secured. So I believe that should be a total of 1 inch. So just like I have here open, I'll go ahead and open here as well. And I'll close the darts as well. So I have it nice and covered, but now this side I'm not going to cut it off like that of the armhole. So I'm going to come back with a piece, just a little piece of paper to cover up for that. If not, it's going to take out of my measurement and make my neckline deeper. So I'm going to fill the gap that I have there. So you just tape the paper down. Once you do that, you're going to go ahead and reshape the line. So here we go. So now you can add, now I'm going to go ahead and add my dart, another dart I said I was going to add from the armhole. So I'll come down 1 inch from the armhole, then I'll add another dart which is 1.5 inches wide. So I'll mark a gap of 1.5 inches from there, and I'll connect like so. Mind you, I've not added sewing allowance on my body, so I'm going to cut this open as well. So this is me basically moving all the darts to this dart here. So I'll just go ahead and close like so. So you can see, so if you notice, the more coverage I'm giving, the wider this dart is becoming. So I'm going to as well, I'm going to add a piece of paper to that side as well, just like I did to the neckline. So I'll do the same thing here. So I'll just match it. So here we go. Now don't forget that this dart is open, so I'm going to need to close this dart as well. So I'm cutting off one leg of it as well. So by the time I close it, it's going to be something like this, and it will create room for my bust around here, and it will close up. So you can see, because it's paper, I'm finding it difficult to sort of close it, but if it were to be fabric, it would be a lot easier. But it will be something like this, and you have all this room for the bust here, right? So let me sort of move the neckline to be a little bit tighter. So I'm going to add another, so this is the bust point here, so I'm just going to add another 1 inch on that side, or I can do ½ inch, or let me do 0.75, so I don't make it too much. So I'll connect it like so. So basically you get the concept. So that's just what I'm going to be doing on this side as well. Now I'm going to cut out these darts before I cut out my fabric. So this is what I have for my bodies. So I have everything contoured in. So I'm going to be cutting 2 opposite directions of this same pattern, right? Then I'll cut the blouse out, then I'll show you how I cut the waistband and the sleeve as well. So for the sleeve, I just grabbed my remaining fabric and I folded it in half like this. I have something like I have almost 14 inches in length. That's from where I'm folding it. I'm going to fold another, I'm not doing it 14 inches, I'm making it 3 inches shorter, so I'll be making 11 inches. That's because I want a flayed sleeve, so I'll be making 11 inches like so. So I'm going to be marking that 14 inches. It's not completely 14 inches, so I'll mark it here like so, and I'll mark the same thing up to here. Then when I'm getting closer to this point, I'll reduce it. I'm going to be reducing it up to here. I'll now mark like so. So I'm going to be cutting that out. This is going to be me cutting 2 sleeves at a time. So now I'm going to go ahead and mark my armhole round, right? So I'll just go ahead and make it, I'll just make it 5 or 5.5 thereabouts, like so. That's the radius of my hand. I'll mark 5.5. My armhole, sorry. So here we go. Now I'm going to open here because that was me cutting for the both sleeve. So it's going to be like this. So this is how the sleeve is going to be. So the reason why I made this side shorter is because it's going to be on the armhole side of it. So this one will fall nicely instead of having this side looking longer. So this is what we have for the sleeve. So I have the 2 sleeves together like this, right? So I'll just go ahead and cut my lining pieces. I've cut out my back as well. My back, just like I said, is the standard back. So I'll just go ahead and cut out my lining pieces or my facing, depending on whatever I decide to use. Then we'll come back to go and sew. The sewing part of this video will be uploaded next, so don't forget to turn on post notification. If you learned a thing or two from this video, please give me a thumbs up. It will go a long way to help my channel. See you guys in the next video, guys.